What's going on, my beautiful people? It's your boy Don Drago, and welcome to another episode of the Hustle Coast podcast. And today we have an absolutely amazing guest. He is an artist, both music and tattoo, rapper, entrepreneur, and the owner of Mad Buddha Tattoo Shop in Tampa, Florida. I give you Tattoo Johnny.
What's up? Thank you for having me.
What's going on, man? Happy to have you here, brother.
Yes, sir. It's been a long time coming.
For sure, man. Yeah, it definitely has, and I'm happy we were able to, get on stream here and have you tell your story. I know you have a great one. It's inspiring, and, you're the true definition of a hustler, so I'm excited.
Yes, sir.
For sure. All right, man, so in my interviews, I always kind of start the same way. I always like to start with the origin story. Where were you born? What was your childhood like? I want all that.
Well, actually, originally I come from Jacksonville, Arkansas. I was born in North Little Rock, Arkansas, but I was raised in Jacksonville, Arkansas. I'm not gonna say that we were super down like that, you know what I'm saying? But we did have a rough little life upbringing and stuff like that. A lot of things weren't, given to us, so we had to work very hard for it. I moved over here when I was in like sixth grade or whatever. Here in Tampa, I'm not gonna lie to you, I moved to Tampa and got into my first fight as soon as I moved in here.
Sounds like Tampa.
Yeah. I was like, wow, okay, this is what we doing. All right, cool. So from there, I'm all kids do the same thing, been through some things, a lot of legal issues. I'm not gonna get too much into it, but a lot of legal issues and stuff like that. But I've changed a bit, so definitely still working on myself, but I'm trying to real deal elevate now,
Yeah, 100%, man. And I know you were saying that you originally moved here from another state. So for you, did you have siblings? Was it just you and your parents?
So when I was growing up and everything, I'm not gonna say that I was an only child, but in a sense I am an only child because all my siblings are older than me. So I never really had my siblings around me besides like my older sister. But even my older sister was like 20 years older than me.
Oh wow, okay. Yeah, that's a big gap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a really big gap.
For sure. Okay, so you were kind of the youngest, kind of came up with your parents, but you were kind of like doing your own thing as a child because of that gap.
Yeah, like I've always been a loner. I've always kind of stayed to myself. I don't really deal with emotions very well like that. So that's why. So
right.
I kind of stayed to myself. But with me being to myself, I was allowed to be more at peace, and I kind of thought things through a little bit different. I grew up a little bit faster than most.
For sure. I feel that. So then sixth grade rolls around. You end up moving here to Tampa. You get in your first fight. Was that at school or where was that at?
It was at school, and then since then I got into a fight every single year from that point on in every school I went to.
Nicely done, man. So you're out here and you're thumping.
Yeah, it was little situations.
Okay. All right. I feel that. And then for you, just because obviously, for me, I'm from the Tampa area as well, and that's kind of how me and you met, and we may, get into that part of the story as well. But what, what high school did you go to?
Actually, I started out going to Blake. I started out going to Blake High School, then I went to Tech, then I went to Wharton. That's where I graduated from. I graduated from Wharton High School.
Okay. Very nice. Absolutely. Nice. Yeah, I was talking to another one of my friends she went to Kia. She went to, I think, Wesley Chapel High, but I was telling her I went to Chamberlain High. But I know Wharton, I know Tech, I know Blake, I know of all those schools. Yeah, for sure, man.
A lot of the high schools all got together, even though we didn't go to the same high school. We all met up somewhere.
Yeah, for sure. And I think, somewhere in there, and it may have been during high school where I first met you. Correct me if I'm wrong. Were we both in high school when we first met?
Yes, we were in high school when we first met. I think it was a mutual friend that we had.
Mutual friend. I think you ended up coming to the church that I was going to. Off Nebraska Avenue for any of those. Yeah.
Yeah, that's when I found out you were doing music.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
I
That's
think it
kind
was
of
Danny.
yeah, it was Danny. Shout out Danny if
Yeah,
you're seeing this, man. You
yeah,
put me and Tattoo Johnny in touch, man, and you're the reason we're doing this today. So shout out to you.
yeah. That was dope.
That's what's up, man. Okay, cool. So let's actually get to that part. So when did you start doing music? How did that come about?
The music has honestly always been there. When I was growing up, I was in church, so I started out a choir boy.
Mm,
So I learned how to play the drums. I learned how to play the guitar a little bit. I learned how to play piano a little bit. I didn't stick to
oh
it too
wow.
much, but as I started getting older, I still kept with the music as far as like using my vocals.
Hmm.
So instead of me singing, it started turning into, kind of rapping because I was coming from a dark place sometimes. So it was easier for me to kind of put it into music to kind of translate how I feel and what I'm going through. It was a whole lot
100%.
easier to do that than try to tell people because then you gotta sit here and be judged and we don't got time for all that.
Oh yeah, man. I hear you. Absolutely. So for you, when you kind of first started with, the writing and the music in general, did you start out did it start out as an outlet more so, like to get out your emotions, or was it more so you just loved music and you just wanted to be part of it?
It was kind of both. It was kind of both. It was definitely an outlet for me to kind of get my thoughts out there, but I've always loved music and I still love music. So,
For sure. 100%. Yeah, me too, man. I found two things. One, I found that a lot of great musicians come from a church background because a lot of us started out having that freedom to experiment and like you said, we had teachers who showed us things. Like that's the first time that someone showed me how to play the drums. And I also didn't stick with it like crazy, but I could hold a beat on a drum set because
right.
someone showed me that. But that's really cool. And another thing that I've found as well is on top of people who come from the church, but also I found people who love music and just really have always listened to music. I feel like we always have like a higher chance of becoming musicians somewhere along the line.
That's correct. That's the
Hmm.
honestly I've seen that too. So,
For sure.
yeah.
For sure. Okay. So just to kind of get back to your story here, because I definitely want to try to we got time today. So I want for anybody watching this that ever hears a Tattoo Johnny, I want this to be like they are getting to know you basically. So you're in high school. You graduate high school.
Yep.
Yep,
Graduated.
graduate high school. Cool. And then from there, kind of, do you immediately go into music, or do you go into tattooing from there, or like what was your first kind of job, and where did you go from there?
So while I was in high school, when I was in high school, I was already doing music. We be at lunch with freestyle. It wasn't much writing. It was more just spitting. You know what I'm saying? Spitting what's on your head, what's on your mind.
Mhm.
I started doing a little recording and stuff like that in high school. It's some stuff out there. I'm not gonna say it's the best, but it started somewhere.
Right.
As far as what you said, the tattooing. When I started doing tattooing,
Yeah, yeah,
when
like
I
so
started doing
from once you
tattooing, when I started doing tattooing, it was also in high school.
Mm,
It was in my senior year, honestly, in high school. That was 2010, 2011. I started tattooing some of my friends that went to the school.
mm.
Um, and that started after I started getting my first tattoos when I was at Tech. I started tattooing people at Wharton though.
Nice.
And then from there, it kind of just kept going. I still stuck with the tattooing. I was still doing music, but the tattooing, it was more of I was still learning. I was still learning a lot. So I wasn't in the shop. I didn't have a license or anything like that. So I'll be throwing major deals like $10 tattoos, $20, little names and stuff, little TV
Right.
designs and stuff like
Dope.
that to all my, what I'm saying, to all my homies and stuff. As
Right.
far as the music, it was more of like I started trying to understand the business aspect of music
Hmm.
because a lot of people, a lot of artists, they just put music out but don't understand the business side of it. and it comes
Yeah.
back to bite them.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I've been having this conversation, and I want to keep having this conversation because I want people to be able to watch this and learn and take advice from people who've been in the game and people who've done it. So, talking about business in music, which it is hard in a lot of cases to find ways to monetize and make money from your music. So, what are some of the things that you've found being in the music game that were hard or people might not know or things that might have kind of tripped you up in the beginning?
Um, Not putting enough music out, honestly. So you still got to put music out, but you have to understand, like we both said, the business background of it. So you got to have what your ASCAP or a BMI, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're not a publisher, you got to get a publisher. You know what I'm saying? So you got to make sure all your stuff is legit. You can't just put music out that somebody else owns because they can sue you if it starts to pop. They're not gonna sue
Yeah.
you if it's not popping yet, you
Mm-hmm.
know. But when it start popping, oh no, I need my cut, homie. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? That's just how the cookie crumbled. It is what it is. Um, when it comes to what I learned from a lot of people start to hit you up in your inboxes or whatever the case may be. When you start getting to a certain level, you'll know when you start moving forward because a lot of unknown people will start to hit you up in your inbox trying to work with you. And
Mm-hmm.
they'll try to give you like little deals. Oh, bro, I can market you. Hey, bro, we can do a feature for this. I'm only charging this, but you hit me up, bro. I didn't hit you up.
No, that's a fact, man. And I think too, I think it's almost a racket or a hustle for like artists who've made it a little bit or their name has bumped a few times to literally reach out to upcoming artists and just try to make money off them, whatever it is, features,
Exactly.
videos, everything.
It's a lot of that going on out here, especially in Tampa. Well, yeah, a lot of the major areas where they do music at. It's a lot of that because you got promoters, you got people that just they're gonna use the artist because you're hungry, so you're gonna spend whatever you got. So
Mm-hmm.
since you're gonna spend whatever you got, I'm gonna make it sound good and I'm gonna take whatever you got.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, if you pop, you pop. That ain't on me. That's
Right,
on you.
right. And the thing too is a lot of them don't even when it drops, a lot of them don't even share it. That's my thing.
Yep.
Like if I pay you this amount to be on it, and that's why like I started having that conversation beforehand before I would pay for a feature or pay to work with somebody. My first question before I give that money is, are you gonna share it when it drops?
Listen, I'll be honest with you. Sometimes doing features, like I've done features, I pay for features, and honestly, it's crazy because I just looked at my catalog the other day, and the song that I did a feature on is down.
Mm.
So the
Oh,
song I did
taken
the
down?
feature on is down. Yeah, it got taken down, and so I'm going back looking
Oh
at my
wow.
stuff. I'm like, yo, where the song at? The song's nowhere to be found. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna re-upload it. We gonna see how
Right.
this gonna go because I got
Wow.
all the paperwork for it. Then you got other artists like say if they get signed, right? They get signed, so then they try to do their features before they get signed. But
Mm-hmm.
when they get signed, if that song's not already put out, when they try to put it out, they're going under the table to put it out
Mm-hmm.
because they're not going through the correct avenues. They're not going through whatever record label that signed them to put your music out. If you put it out, you put it out. It's probably gonna get taken down.
That's a fact. I've seen artists do that as well, and if they know it's not gonna clear, then that's wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
they're just hustling people. I'm not saying that every artist who's ever done that, maybe they didn't know, but yeah, I don't think that that's obviously that's a the music industry, bro, is like the Wild Wild West because you
yeah.
have real business people and then you have people who are just trying to make a buck and everybody's all lumped in together. So figuring out who's who and this and that, I know you have, and I definitely have charged thousands of dollars to the game just paid for something and never got it, or this or
Yeah,
that, and it's tough. It's tough to
yeah.
know who's real and who's not. And that's why music artists out there, you guys need to make sure to do your research. Don't just look at somebody's Instagram. Pull them up on Google. Look at them on LinkedIn, freaking Twitter. Check them
Or
everywhere.
or show up like sometimes even show up to a show and talk to them in person. Because sometimes like I met Mike Jones. We did some stuff together. You know what I'm saying? I didn't do a feature with him or nothing like that, but we worked on some stuff together.
Oh, sick.
You got uh my boy, that Laffy Taffy. That Laffy Taffy.
Oh
Yo,
yeah, yeah.
yo. I got you know what I'm saying? Like I still got his number to this day. We still talk.
Nice.
Um You got a few people. You got a few people. Matter of fact, I opened up for Kevin Gates. I didn't get to talk to him though. I didn't get to talk to him, but I talked to some of his band camp and stuff like that to try to put some plays in order. Some certain situations happen, so I wasn't able to do that. But you know what I'm saying? It's stuff like that. Like you got to really put yourself in the room with people.
For sure. And one of the things too that I want artists out there to know, and this is what I've been preaching lately, is you're not going to make enough money to support yourself with streams. So
Mm-mm.
you have to find other ways to make money. So for example, like when you would have opened up for Kevin Gates, and that's sick, by the way. That's a dope stripe that you earned, I think that's sick. But doing something like that, the way that I would, if an artist was going to do something like that, the first thing I would be like is, do you have merchandise ready, and do you have okay to set up a table and sell at that show? Or you know what I mean? Like a lot
Right.
of artists think that just streams are going to do it, and streams don't. It
Nah,
doesn't.
the streams aren't nothing.
No.
Honestly, it's all about merchandise sales. It's all about what you can put in to get out of it. So the
For sure.
streams, they're good if you have streams like that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like if you're definitely hitting that threshold, then yeah, them streams are fire. But if
Right.
you don't, it's about like what can you sell at your show? What are you bringing to the table? How many tickets can you sell? And
Right.
what are you doing? But like you said, it's a lot of artists that they don't understand and they feel like, oh, I'm finna just show up to the show and perform. Don't nobody know you, bro.
Yeah. Right.
Don't nobody
Exactly.
know you, bro.
Mm-hmm.
And
And
it's
that's the thing
like,
too is, okay.
oh, I'm sorry.
No.
Well, what I was gonna say was, and it's like, one thing I can say about the music industry is that they look at if you have what quote unquote hood clout.
Hmm.
So if you got hood clout, you know they gonna use you because you don't know nothing.
And that's kind of the same with like WWE. It's all a show. If you have drama, that's gonna bring eyes. Drama is always
Yeah,
profitable. Look at rats like 6ix9ine, or a guy who had some of the most views and all of that. Drama all around him. So I definitely feel that for sure. So let me ask you this: do you remember the first time you wrote a verse or got in the booth? The very first time.
yeah. I was nervous as hell.
Did you spit in front of somebody, or was it in the studio?
No, I was at the studio. I've always been that person. Like I had like little at home stuff, but if it don't sound right to me, I don't. It didn't sound right to me. I got like
Right.
OCD. It's so bad. If it don't sound right, now I need to go to the studio. They be
Right.
like, bro, you got an at home studio? No, 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 no. I'll lay it out here, but I need to go over there and go get it mixed. I need to go do something with it. I'm good. Mm-mm.
Facts. What studio in Tampa do you normally go to, or do you like, or that you've been to?
Well, I'm not gonna say it's a studio, but I definitely go get my music mixed by Win.
Mm,
His name is Win, little Asian, my little Asian homeboy.
nice. And he's
Yeah, I
good?
go get it because sometimes he be bouncing, so I just follow him wherever he go. Listen. I ain't trying to deal with too many people. I'm not. I'm not. I found him. He mixed my songs the way I like them, and that's it.
Yeah.
Bro, listen, he can be in Cali. Hey, bro, I'm finna send something to you.
Facts.
Like, I can put this together for me.
Facts. And that's the best way to do it, bro. If you find an engineer that you like, it's the same thing. Like if you find a great barber or a tattoo person, you gotta hold on to them. And I'm the same way. I'm like that with Skylar. Me and Skylar, like I'll go to other studios to lay vocals, and then I just send it to him because he mixes the way that I like it.
That what I'm saying. Cause you already got that ear for it. You already hear what he got. You know what I'm saying? What he already put out for you.
Right.
I didn't like that little tweak you did. I'm gonna go send it over
Yeah.
there to my boy.
But I do the same thing that you do. I always lay out all my rough draft work here at home just to kind of
Hmm.
have a rough draft, listen to it, get it locked in my head so that I'm not wasting time. Some people book studio time and they don't even have a song ready. They just show
You
up.
know, you know what's crazy though? You know what's
What?
crazy? The reason why I like Win, right? Because he's an artist too. He's an engineer. He's a fire engineer. He's a fire engineer, but he's
Hmm.
also a fire artist.
Wow.
So with him being an artist, it's like I can go to the studio and not have anything wrote, but I got the beat. I know how I want the song to go. So as soon as I be like, all right, look, I want it to go and just do it like that, he'll be like, all right, let's work on this. And it will work and it will section it out together.
Nice.
I'll be like, yeah. I'll be like, I want to do punch ins. Like, we'll do punch ins. Like
Yeah.
he'll work with me, and
That's dope.
that's what makes the process a little bit easier. And it makes it fun because you have that connection.
For sure. And when you do have a connect like that who helps you put it together and brings your song out, I'm not saying that that's not because you're right. That part is epic. I'm just saying
Yeah.
that when I go to the studio, every minute that I'm in there, I'm spending money. So I generally like to go there prepared as opposed to I know some people will, just book it for hours and if something comes out great, you know,
That's
but I guess either way
I
is good.
Yeah, that's me. I'll be like, you know what? I'll get my food ready. I get my food, my drinks. I'll be like, look, we finna be in here for 7 hours. We gotta
Oh,
come up
nice.
with something.
Right.
Come up
You
with
like the
something.
experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it because we sit
That's
there
fair, man.
we sit there, we chill, we order pizza, we might talk, you know what I'm saying? We talk a little bit. But in that first, I say if we do 7 hours, in the first 5 hours, I'm hitting. Let's go. What we doing? First
Yeah.
5 hours back to back. Boom, boom, boom. Let's go.
Mm. Yeah.
Now we
No,
might
for
slack
sure.
off at the end too. All right, yeah, my vocals hurt a little piece.
Right. Right. Dude, I'm so meticulous when it comes to being in the studio. I don't like a lot of people when I'm in the studio. Honestly, I like to go in the studio by myself. I don't smoke, I don't drink in the studio. I literally go in there, boom, boom, boom. Like, just kind of control it, make sure to get everything done. And then once everything's done, then I kind of, like you said, chill, relax a little bit.
Yeah, see, I don't smoke. I don't
Right.
smoke. Yeah, I don't no. I don't like smelling like no. I don't smoke. It's
For
got too
sure.
much going on. Now everybody else they got different things. You know what I'm saying? But
Right.
me, I'm not gonna lie to you. Give me a little drink here and there. I ain't gonna go too crazy with it, but give me like 2 cups. I'm saucy. Let's go. What we doing? All
I
right.
feel
I'm
that,
what we
man.
doing. It come out like butter, like that. Yeah.
Nice. So, how would you describe your sound to somebody who's never heard your music?
Well, my sound is a little. I'm not gonna say mainstream, but my sound is more like it's definitely urban, but I don't know. It's kind of weird. It's kind of weird for me to really describe my sound because I don't sound like everybody. Like I don't. I'm not gutter. I'm not. I'm not all the way from the street. Like you know what I'm saying. I'm not. I'll tell you straight up. I'm not. Have I been in those experiences? Yes, definitely I have. I have definitely experienced some things, but I'm not all the way from the street. You know what I'm saying? Like my people's definitely try to make it better for me. You know what I'm saying? So I was just blessed to be like that. But it's just, I don't know. I sound different, but I can get different too. I can sound whatever way I need to sound. I can sound that way.
Yeah, I've listened to a lot of your music, and I would say, in my opinion, you definitely have bars, but in a lot of songs, you also go melodic, which I think is dope. You kind of find a pretty
Yeah,
good balance,
yeah,
for
yeah.
sure.
No, I definitely started to dabble into the harmonic side of it for
Yeah,
sure.
heck yeah. Do you have a song that's your favorite that you've ever put out or that has a sentimental value to you?
Yeah, it's called Real. Yeah, I got a song called Real. It has a definite sentimental value to me.
Yeah. And is that one out
Yeah.
on all streaming platforms? I'm not sure if I've heard that
Yeah,
one.
that one's out. That one's out on
Okay.
all streaming platforms. That one is definitely out on all streaming platforms.
Nice. Do you know what year that one was, that recently or
No, it was over six, I think 6 years now. It's been out for 6 years now.
so
Yeah,
maybe
6 years.
2019?
Something like that. 2018,
Okay.
19, something like that. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, so I was checking out, your recent music. So, some of your recent singles, YDK and Juice.
Yeah.
Tell me about some of those. How did those come about? What was the idea?
Oh, YDK was I actually did a video a minute ago and I did it a cappella.
Mm.
I just never dropped it. Like I did the video, I posted it on my Instagram, but I never dropped the song. I was still working on the song, and I changed the beat. I think I changed the beat.
Mm.
As far as Juice, Juice was just one of those. Like I was just like you know how you be around and you just listening. I'm listening to what everybody got going on. I'm listening, and I'm just like, bro, there's no way you just got on like that. Like there's not, like there's no way you just got on like that. And I'm just like, oh, bro, I could do that. I got the juice. What you mean? Like, like
Yeah.
I'm here. Listen to this. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? It's just sometimes you got to get it in front of the right people. If it don't get in front of the right people, they ain't gonna go nowhere. It is what it is.
Right. So, I just want to say one of my favorite songs of yours is a little bit older song, and it's called On Go.
Yeah, really?
Yo, I rock with that song, dog. I like Juice. I like your recent stuff, but that On Go, it hits, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the feature I did with my boy.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, my boy's a feature on that one.
That one's sick, man. I really rock with that song.
I like On Go.
Yeah. He's thinking about. He's like, maybe I need to throw that one out there one more time.
Yeah, no, I like On Go because on when I dropped On Go, that was around the time I had did a feature with LA the Goat, and I had
Mm.
dropped that one too. So I dropped them like back to back.
Oh, dope. What's the name of the song you have with LA?
Goat Talk.
Go Talk. Nice.
Mm-hmm.
I got to go back and hear that one. I'm not sure if I heard that one either. But that's
I go
what's up.
check that out. Yeah,
Yeah,
go check
yeah,
it out.
definitely, man. So, what's one thing you wish the music industry would change or do better for independent artists?
I wish they just have like his own kind of like I ain't gonna say box, but his own like draft for independent artists. Honestly, like bro, they need to split it up or something because it's like you got a lot of fire artists out here. You got a lot of fire artists out here. You got so many like really talented artists, especially down here in Tampa. I'm not gonna lie to you. You got a lot of talented artists. The problem is that the game is so like cluttered. It's so cluttered and everyone ends up doing the same thing. There's only so many possible ways you can do one thing. You know what I'm saying? You're trying to make music. You're going to be a trap rapper. You're going to be a harmonic rapper. You're going to be a singer. You're gonna talk about ghetto stuff in the hood, shooting and killing. You know what I'm saying? And not everybody listen to all that. So you're never gonna go super mainstream like that. You gotta switch it up. You gotta be able to be versatile. You gotta be able to, you know what I'm saying, like give the people what they actually want. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna lie to you. I commend 6ix9ine. I'm not gonna say I agree with everything that happened. He put himself in a lot of his own situations, dealing with the people he dealt with. But you know what I'm saying? He made his way from what he knew what to do and knew how to do. You know what I'm saying? So I gotta commend him on that. And he did what he did. You feel me? It's just he put in a bad predicament around the wrong people.
Yeah, that's a fact. It's a fact, man. I was actually, not to stay on this topic for too long because I know this is a while back, but I was just watching the other day like a rerun of Sarah Molina, his baby mom's interview with Vlad and whatever, and basically like he said that he had all these questions of, was Sarah Molina, his baby mom, you know, like sleeping with Shotty, his manager and his boy. And he said it
Yeah.
wasn't like he had all these like thoughts and all this, but it wasn't until the feds told him we have it on recording that it is happening. And then he got her alone and then she admitted it. And I'm not saying that that's an excuse because, like you said, he should have never put himself in this situation anyways. But you know,
I mean,
at that point, all bets are off.
yeah. At that point, it is what it is, and everybody look at it as like, oh, this street code and stuff. Like, first and foremost, street code is dead. That's dead, bro. Listen, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm not from in the street. I'm not from this that, and the third. I've been around, so I know what goes on. I see things and everything like that. Let me ask you a question. When you was raised and you went to school, what'd your mama tell you to do if something went wrong?
For me personally, Johnny, are you asking for me personally?
No, I'm asking in the way of like if somebody was messing with you or whatever the case may be. Now you just told your parents, and then your parents gonna give you some advice, and they're gonna tell you what they're gonna be like. Make sure you tell the teacher first,
Right,
so that way if anything happened, the teacher know what happened, right?
right. Yeah,
Okay, so the
100%.
cop, so now look at it in street life, right? The cops is your teachers, basically. I
Right.
ain't telling nobody to go out there and do the foolishness and be telling on each other and stuff like that. But the cops is your teachers. So what's the difference in me?
Mhm.
You know
I
what I'm
guess
saying?
what the no, no, I hear you. And as us being civilians, I think that that is 100% where, because I definitely have that understanding as well. But I think what the argument is for the other side is, well, if you sign that dotted line, you sign in blood, and there is no tattletelling at that point. You accept everything that comes with it. Now, again, for me, I'm not gonna sit here and say I understand that. You know what I'm saying? But I guess from that side of the argument, that's what they believe.
That's because people put themselves in their own predicaments,
Mhm.
and then they want to cry about it later.
Right.
Don't cry now.
Yeah.
Don't cry now.
No, that's
It's
a
already
fact.
happened. You already in there. I
Right. Exactly.
don't know what you go. I don't know what you're gonna do. Where you gonna go?
That's funny,
I'm gonna
man.
look.
So,
I do this thing. I'll be like popcorn. I'm gonna sit back and watch.
yeah, no, I feel that, man. I'm right there with you. So, let me ask you this question. What drives you more? Proving people wrong or proving yourself right?
I don't worry about proving nobody wrong. I don't worry about proving nobody any type of way, anything like that. It's me versus me, regardless. It don't matter what you got to say. It don't matter what anybody got to say. My mama got to say. God got to say. I got to keep going. I got to keep going for me. I got to push for me because I know deep down in my heart and my soul, I can do better than I did the day before.
For sure. That's awesome, man. And based on what I know about you, you've definitely faced adversity in your life. what are some of the ways that you were able to overcome that adversity?
Changing my circle. Changing my circle, staying to myself, not being around too many people. Like now, I'm like I ain't gonna say a hermit, but I be locked. I'm locked in. Like I'm at the shop, I'm at home, and now I just started school, so I'm at the shop, home, or I'm online doing these classes. I don't
Oh,
want to
nice,
talk.
man.
I
Yo,
don't
that's
want to go
dope. What?
nowhere. You
Yeah, for sure. What are you going to school for?
business administration.
Oh, nice, man. Congrats. That's dope.
Yes, sir. Thank you, thank you,
For
thank you.
sure, bro. For sure.
It's definitely a lot of work. Yeah, it's a lot of work. Well, it doesn't.
Yo, I can imagine. So that actually kind of brings me, and I do want to talk a little bit more about tattooing and your shop and all of that. I know we talked a little bit about the music. So obviously, opening a shop is a big leap. What was the transition like from an artist to business owner?
Um, the transition was kind of like it was definitely bumpy. I'm still transitioning, honestly, because I've only opened the shop. It's only been what 2 years, going on 3 years now. So for me, being just an artist, renting a booth, working in the shop, all right, cool. I'm free to go and leave whenever I want to, right? For the most part. Opening the shop and owning the shop is totally different because I got to be all in. I got to understand where you coming from, the next artist coming from, why this client mad at you, because it's gonna fall on the shop. They're not gonna say you did it. They're gonna say the shop. You know what I'm saying? So I got to make sure that everybody's taken care of, and I also got to make sure that I got all my, you know what I'm saying, I's and T's, my I's dotted and my T's crossed, basically.
Right. I feel that. And how do you structure or how do you motivate your team?
Uh, first and foremost, each player on your team has to come with their own motivation for you to have any type of way to motivate them. If you have one person that comes in and they have little to no like actual push to themselves, how do you expect me to push you? Like, bro, I'm not finna push a log. That log heavy. I ain't got time for that. I got my own stress going on. You know what I'm saying? I got to be able to push myself. I got to wake up at 5, 6 in the morning and look at the sky like, all right, God, what we doing today? You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah.
You gotta keep it pushing. You gotta keep it going. I'm gonna motivate you in a way of like, hey, let's go. You know what I'm saying? You got this. You know what I'm saying? Keep pushing. Keep doing what you're doing. Hey, let's promote. How about we take a promotion day? Let's go somewhere else. Let's go do something. Let's, you know what I'm saying? Hey, team building. Let's do that. But at the end of the day, you gotta hit people up. You gotta. It's called a 10 touch rule. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You gotta hit people at 10 different points of contact within a month.
That's facts, man. That's sales right there, brother.
Yeah, yeah. No,
Yeah.
I honestly, I went to a seminar with Vic Tipness.
Oh,
So, I, yeah, yeah, I learned a lot. I learned a lot over there. I met my
nice.
boys. I met my boys at Tweeds too. They make designer suits, and I like that.
Oh,
I like
sick,
that
man.
swag right there.
That's epic, bro.
Yeah,
Man, I wouldn't mind getting me a designer suit, you know?
bro. Listen, look, they fit real good too. I ain't gonna cap with you. They up there, but they fit real good.
I bet, bro. I bet they're tailored, right? You can get them
Yeah, they're
tailored.
fully tailor made. Fully tailor
Yeah,
made. I love it.
that's sick.
Right now I got three.
Oof,
I
nice.
got three of them made in a year. So I'm very much blessed. I plan on getting another three, and I might stop, but we gonna see.
That's sick, man. That's dope. So let me ask you, man, where do you get your drive from? Obviously you've been in the music game, you've done a lot, you've opened up your own shop, you've been an artist. What drives you?
Honestly, I think I get it from my mom and my daddy. I think I get it from them because my mom always been that pusher and that go getter. She always been that, what I'm saying, I'm here. Like let's go. What we doing? Like that's that hustling mentality. It's if you not gonna get it for yourself, how you expect somebody else to get it for you? You gotta go out there and go get it. It ain't just gonna be handed to you. If you're looking for a handout, you lame, you soft. What you doing? You
That's
ain't
a
doing
fact.
nothing. You ain't making nothing happen. You ain't making nothing shake. So you need to go out and go get it. Anything you want in this life, you can go get it. You just gotta go get it.
That's a fact, man. And you know, this podcast is called the Hustle Coast Podcast, where we highlight hustlers, go getters, and high achievers. And that was one of the reasons I wanted you on so bad, is because I knew that you're a guy who picked yourself up from the bottom and made something with your life. And I think that's dope. So let me ask this: when you are either interviewing or you're going to have somebody new come in and work with your shop, do you automatically look for those qualities of like who's a hustler, who's a grinder? You know, do you look
So
for that?
I give everybody a month basis. Well, I started to give people a month basis because you live and you learn. I ain't gonna say too much, but you live and you learn. So now it's more of, all right, you got a month. We're gonna see what you're doing in this month. Are you gonna promote? Are you gonna be there? Are you gonna be giving me matter of fact, work with me, give me some ideas. I wanna know what you got cooking in your head. I wanna know where you coming from. Any deals you wanna put out. Any charity events. Let's do this charity event. All right, cool. Let's do a drive. All right, cool. You know what I'm saying? I'm good. Let's do all that. I wanna know how much drive you have. But I can't see it because you're telling me. So I got to give you a chance to show me.
Right.
But it's all about chances at the end of the day.
Have you ever had somebody who started out slow and ended up being really good, or vice versa, who started out really good but then kind of fell off?
Here at the shop, um, I've had artists that started out really good and fell off. Definitely.
And do you think that was because they weren't willing to put in the work and they didn't have the discipline, or they just didn't have the passion for it?
Honestly, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know where the slack came from. I really don't know. I can't tell you that. That would be something, you know what I'm saying? But everybody also has to understand and they have to accept responsibility for their own actions. Like I've been told before, oh, I'm not promoting. What do you mean I'm not promoting? I'm promoting the shop. You work at the shop. Am I supposed to promote you as an individual artist here? No, because you rent the booth. You're not on percentages.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Like, I'm already doing too much because I supplied this, that, and the third, and I'm already doing too much. I help out when I help out. But you also got to promote yourself. Like, you can't look for a handout. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. And I've had artists that like, oh, you're not even promoting my stuff. You're not pushing this out. And I'm just like, but you're not even pushing that out.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So you get mad at me, and I still got to deal with my own promotions, my own clientele. Every client that comes in here and they ask about me, that's my client. Every walk-in that comes here, they know about the shop because of me. It's my shop. Right. I'm throwing you the client. It is what it is. You have to understand that, and sometimes that's why I said it's hard for that. That's why I said it's hard. It's being a business owner. You have to understand people's emotions, and you have to be able to cope with their emotions, and that's the struggle that I'm going through because I don't do emotions well.
For sure, man. And I hear all of that, and I'm right there with you, bro. I've definitely seen that. When I started off in the fitness sales industry when I was young, I did it, got promoted pretty quick, ended up getting promoted again. So I was a general manager of a big fitness club, and I had a lot of people working under me. And I tell you this, man, in any sales, environment, I would rather take somebody who's hungrier and who hustles over the guy who's just talented or a good artist any day of the week, bro. I want people who come in here and are just like yelling at me in the morning, who are coming in hungry, because it's like I feed off that energy.
Hey, exactly. I don't like the person who's been doing it so many years and feels self-entitled. No, you can go back home and go to sleep, sir.
Yeah.
you can go back home.
Like we're all here to make money and to make the shop and eat together. And if you're not willing to pull your weight, honestly, it's about more than pulling your weight. I want you to pull your weight and then some. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want you to be bringing us business, not just you because you're working so hard. And that was the thing too in fitness sales. when you first start out, you don't get walk-in traffic. You only get
Right.
the traffic that you generate. If they don't come in with your card or one of your guest passes or whatever with your name on it, you're not getting that client. You're last in line.
Exactly, and that's the same way. That's the same way with tattooing. If you don't
Yep.
generate your own clients and your own business, how do you expect to get it from the shop? You gotta generate clients too. You gotta you know what I'm saying? We feeding off each other here. So I'm gonna
Right.
promote. You gotta promote too. If I'm bringing business here, then come on, let's bring business together so we all can eat.
Yep.
Cause it's a lot of money out here and everybody can eat, but you gotta be willing to put in your effort and your part.
Yeah, 100%. And I'll say too, like I always liked the managers because my manager, I've had managers like this and I've had other managers. And I was actually talking about this in my last interview. The best managers that I've ever had were the managers who would show me something by doing it and not telling me. But then it's up to me after he shows me or he or she shows you one time, they're willing to do it to get their hands dirty. Then it's like, okay, I showed you. Now get out there and do it as opposed to just like me having to tell you all the time,
Facts. Right.
you know?
Yeah, you gotta be able to make your own moves and do it yourself. You know what I'm saying? You gotta like it's called self. You gotta be self motivated.
You do. You definitely do. So let me ask you this. If you did have to start all over again, but you kept everything that you know now, what's the first move that you'd make and what would you do differently?
What I would put my credit in check. Yeah, first move
Yeah.
I'm making, put my credit in check, and I'm gonna use credit on credit. I ain't
Mm,
spending no money. I promise
there
you,
you go.
I ain't gonna spend no money. I'm gonna use credit on credit. I'm gonna use them reward. I'm gonna use those rewards. Flip that on itself. I'm gonna come back, get them loans. I'm gonna use this. I'm gonna use government money for the for me.
Hmm. Yes, sir.
I'll be a millionaire. I promise you, I'll be a millionaire. I'm still gonna be a millionaire. Watch me.
I believe you, bro. I believe it, and I love that ambition.
Oh, I ain't
For
got no
sure, man.
time. What? That's
Oh
what?
yeah, yeah, bro. You're doing your thing, man. I respect it. And yeah, I'm from that era as well, bro. For me, like, my story is a little bit different, but when I was a kid, probably just I mean, I don't know about you, but we weren't learning about credit in school. My mom didn't know anything about credit. She didn't have good credit. I was not taught credit by anybody. You know what I mean? And it wasn't
Mm-hmm.
until later in my adult life. Like, I think the second I turned 18, because we didn't have cable, I think I put the cable in my name and, after like 2 or 3 months, didn't pay it or whatever. So, like, my credit started shot. You know what I mean? And
Oh
it
man.
was only after mistake and mistake and mistake that eventually, like, I started getting it, and then you start kind of seeing it and doing what's right. But I feel you on that,
Yeah.
bro. That's a change I would make too.
Yeah, because credit make the world go round. Money do,
Oh, yeah.
but credit make the world
Yeah.
go round. Because you got to
Yo, that's a fact, man. That's
you
a
got to
fact.
be in good faith. We got to know
Yeah.
that. Oh, okay, you know what you're doing.
Right. For sure, man, for sure. So, as we're kind of wrapping up here, coming to the end of this interview, I just want to see, is there any people that you'd like to shout out? Anybody that you're thankful to, on the way up? Anything? Obviously, we got your shop, Mad Buddha Tattoo Shop. If you want to put the, where's that located? What's the address? Is there any deals going on?
Well, Mad Buddha Tattoo Shop located at 2092 West Bush Boulevard, Tampa, Florida 33612. I honestly, 420 is on Sunday, but we're closed on Sundays, so we're running a special tomorrow. For the 19th, we're doing $20, $40 small tattoo designs, small words and stuff like that. So people can come out and they can just come through. We're open Monday through Friday, 1 to 11. So tomorrow we're gonna be open from 12 to 11. Um, if they want to come out and do that. As far as like people that I want to shout out, I just want to shout out that's been there for me. That's all I can say. You know what I'm saying? I can't be very much specific because honestly, it's been a lot of people that have actually been in my corner and have actually given me like words of advice and stuff like that. And there's too many names to be trying to say everybody's name. But I can say, you know what I'm saying, like one specifically is my mom. She's always been my backbone for sure. And I can say like my
100%.
best friends and my brothers, my sisters.
Your sister is not going to get mad that you called her last, right? I'm
No,
just
she ain't
kidding.
gonna get mad. She ain't gonna get mad at
Okay.
all.
All right, for sure, man. Well, again, guys, we have Tattoo Johnny. We just went through his story, his road to greatness. We want to thank you guys so much for tuning into the Hustle Coast podcast. You're going to be seeing this interview very soon. Make sure to tune in to our next episode. But hey, other than that, Tattoo Johnny, it's been a pleasure, my brother.
Yes, sir. Peace.